All right, welcome to this explainer, where we are going to completely demystify the process of setting up Fedora Linux 44 inside Windows 11. You know, if you've ever wanted to explore a really powerful Linux desktop without giving up your familiar Windows environment, running a virtual machine is absolutely the best way to do it. So today, we're going to guide you step by step through setting up Fedora right inside VirtualBox. But actually, more importantly than that, I'm going to preemptively show you how to avoid a highly frustrating trap at the very end of the installation that catches a ton of people off guard. Okay, looking at our roadmap for today, we're going to hit 4 quick phases. 1. Setting up your virtual machine. 2. The Fedora installation process. 3. Escaping the reboot loop, and yeah, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention to that step. And finally, 4. Finalizing your new desktop.
Let's jump right in. Section 1. Setting up your virtual machine. It's time to build some virtual hardware.
First things first, you'll need to grab the Fedora ISO file directly from their website. Once you've got that safely on your hard drive, fire up VirtualBox and click New. But here is a massive pro tip for a smooth setup. Immediately switch over to Expert mode. Seriously, it puts all the configuration options you need on one single screen, which saves you from wandering through a total maze of prompts. Now, to make sure everything runs super smoothly, here's exactly what you need to dial in. Set the type to Linux and the version to Fedora 64-bit. For your resources, allocate 4 GB of base memory, that's your RAM, and go ahead and give it 4 CPUs, so the whole OS feels nice and snappy. Finally, carve out a virtual hard disk of about 56 GB, which just gives you plenty of breathing room. Hit Finish, and boom, your virtual machine is born.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Fedora installation process. Let's install the OS.
Okay, so once the initial boot up finishes, you're greeted with this really welcoming interface. But you might hit a tiny UI hiccup here. Just like in our source material, you might find the language temporarily defaulting to something totally unexpected, like Hindi. Seriously, don't panic if your screen looks completely unfamiliar for a second. You just use the search bar, scroll through, and correct it to your preferred language, like English India or English US, before hitting Next. From there, you just tell it to use the entire virtual disk, hit install, and honestly, the machine takes over. It systematically runs through this whole process: storage configuration, installing the core software, writing the bootloader, configuring your system settings, and then finally running a cleanup and finalization routine. Now, because this complete sequence is doing an absolute ton of heavy lifting in the background, it takes roughly 20 to 25 minutes to complete. So, this is literally your perfect excuse to step away, grab a cup of coffee, stretch your legs, and just let the virtual machine do all the hard work. You'll know it's done when a triumphant, successfully installed message pops up on your screen.
All right, Section 3. Escaping the reboot loop. Time for the boss battle.
So here's the scenario, and it's super frustrating if you don't know it's coming. The installation finishes right, and you're instructed to reboot. You type reboot in the terminal, you watch the machine power down and start back up, but instead of your shiny new desktop, it asks you to start the setup all over again. No way, right? So why is it asking to install again? Well, it's because VirtualBox is actually still reading the installation file. Think of it like a CD left in a disk drive before it reads your brand new virtual hard drive. So how do we fix it? The crucial point here is following these exact 5 steps to break the loop. First, completely power off the VM. Don't just restart it, shut it down entirely. Second, open up the VirtualBox settings menu. Third, navigate over to the Storage tab on the left. Fourth, find your Fedora ISO file that's acting as that virtual CD, right-click it, and select Remove Attachment. Finally, click OK and restart the virtual machine. By effectively ripping out that virtual installation media, your system is forced to boot directly from its newly installed hard drive. Loop broken.
Which brings us to Section 4. Finalizing your new desktop. Let's cross that finish line.
When the system boots up this time, you just have to navigate a few final, really straightforward prompts. You'll decide on your location services, enter your city and full name, create a username, and set a nice, strong password. Once those are locked in, all you do is click Start using Fedora Linux.
And there it is, the ultimate reward. Fedora 44 Workstation is live. You now have full access to your terminal, your applications, and a pristine Linux environment running flawlessly inside its own window, completely isolated from your host system. It's kind of like having a whole second computer.
So, I really hope this explainer has empowered you. You now know exactly how to allocate the right hardware, how to navigate the sequence, and most importantly, how to sidestep that virtual media trap that catches so many beginners. This whole digital workspace is yours now, completely sandboxed and ready for whatever you want to throw at it. So dive in, start experimenting, and ask yourself, what are you going to build first?